Hello everyone, I'm here today to do a review of The Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. So I first read this book because it was set in The Hague, and that's the main reason I wanted to read it, because I live in The Hague. But yeah, this book follows a translator from New York that moves to The Hague to work in the International Criminal Court. With a one-year contract, and basically the book looks at her exploring the city and sort of deciding if she wants to stay or not. There are several plot lines apart from that, but that's the main gist of the book. So the things that I liked about this book is first the discussion of the translation and what does what that does to language, and how we understand language, because even the translators are trying to reduce the gap between people that don't understand each other. There's always a factor of interpretation, and that changes the way that people understand other people, and that is a lot to do with the translation. And I like the discussions of that. There's this one particular moment that stuck into my mind where she's translating a victim from the crime that they're judging in the international court, and when she translates, she says, "I felt this. This happens to me," but of course it didn't happen to her. It happened to the person she's translating from, and she comments on how weird that is, that she's saying, "I experienced this," when she didn't. Things like that are quite interesting. The other thing I liked is the fact that it's in The Hague, and I could relate, and I know most of the places that are discussed. And I actually made a small video of some of the most important places that they discuss, so I'll insert that here. So here is the main church, the Great Church of The Hague, and it's sort of one side of the city center. We walk a little bit farther, there is some nice galleries, and here is the Binnenhof, which is where the parliament is. This is the inside of the parliament, so this is where the government goes. And on the other side, if you go through the whole thing, you can find Marit's house, which is the museum which Jana working. That's there. It's a relatively small one, but it has some very famous paintings, including the girl with the earring. And yeah, a little bit more of the city center, so that you can get an idea. It's pretty cute and very well taken care of, because The Hague is where the government is. And this is the trams, and a little bit more out of the center, and some of the parks there are. There are a lot of parks in The Hague, and this is the criminal court. The dunes are just there. And fun fact, I used to live in that street, so I saw it built up. But yeah, this is the dunes a little bit further, and the beach, all the way to the beach. So yeah, that was also very nice. The one thing I will say is that even though I like that the discussion, even though they showed these places in The Hague, they didn't tell by name. It was more like the old town and the neighborhood around this old station, without naming the actual station or the actual neighborhood they're talking about. That annoyed me a bit, because I mean, there's no reason for that. If you know The Hague, you know where these places are, and if you don't know The Hague, you don't care. So why would you just not say the names? Just maybe because they are difficult for English-speaking people to tell the names. But other than that, I don't have any reason why you shouldn't name the places, and that annoyed me a bit. I think it was just, yeah, there was no reason for them to do that. But yeah, other than that, I enjoy the fact that it was in The Hague, and I was recognizing all of the places that they were naming. For the things that I didn't like so much, I just felt like it was not developed enough. So there are several plot points in the book. There is this relationship that the main character is having with a Dutchman that is separated from his wife. There is the plot line where the actual translation and the actual case at the criminal court, and the relationship um, that this woman is having with her co-workers, but also with other people in the court, including the accused. So the accused at this particular time is African president that was using violence to remain in power. But then there is also this amount of people from this African country that say we chose this man. He was a legally elected president, and now you're judging him for that. So what's up with that? But of course, there's also the discussion of the horrible things that he did to people in his country. So yeah, and let's just say it was also very cliche that it was an African dictator that they were, or an African um, tyrant that they were judging. I think there was a little bit of commentary on that, on the fact that the courts mostly judges African leaders, because they are the easiest to do. Like, there are no consequences related to that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it could have been a little bit more extensive. And yeah, and then there's another plot line with these siblings, and the brother has been attacked, and there's sort of like a mystery going on why he was attacked and what happened there. So this whole thing has all these little pieces that never get fully developed, never get fully discussed, and it just felt like the author didn't know where to go with this book, and she was just trying to take little pieces of things that she thought could be interesting and put them together, rather than a fully developed story without clear plot points and discussions. It was more of a, oh, I thought about this and I thought about that, and just put it together in a mush. I know a lot of people like this book, but for me, the plot and the character development was more of a, they tell us that she feels this or she feels that, but there is no actual development that we see her changing the way she acts or whatever, and we don't see these things develop. It's just we are told that, for example, for the siblings, we told that this brother had an attack, and it's like this big mystery, and then we discover that he was in this part of town because of this woman, and that's it. Um, yeah, it was just like, it was not. The plots were not my thing. But yeah, I enjoyed it for the Hague mostly, and also for the discussions on language. So yeah, I personally will not recommend this book to other people, but I will also not stop people that want to read it. Um, I think it's one of those that you have to decide for yourself. But yeah, I personally I was expecting a little bit more. I think the buzz was a little bit hype, um, and even though it's not a bad book, I don't think the hype does the book justice. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Intimacies. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you've read it or you want to read it. And until next video, bye!